What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna share with you my model making process for these glasses. It's a piece of eyewear that I thought of. I sketched out, probably have some electronics in them. There's some new tools in Gravity Sketch. You'll see those through this video as well. But my favorite, by far, it's not the articulated mannequins or some of the new control point manipulation tools are cool. You'll see those as well. But it's the reference images, the placement of the reference images, as you see here, what I'm doing. You can build a virtual studio now. Instead of moving with the model, the reference images can be pinned to the walls, which is super cool because you could put a picture of a studio that's nicer than yours on the wall. So then you're standing in some beautiful studio somewhere and working on your design. Really cool feature. I actually, because I'm working in a small space, I put the reference images at the limits of my workspace just to make sure I don't walk into the bookcases or trip over the sofa or anything. Anyway, this set of videos is going to be, it'll be quite long in total, maybe almost 3 hours, 2 hours. I'm not sure. I'm not done building the model, but I'll go ahead and just upload those as the videos as I make progress in the model. So in some ways, anyone that's familiar with NURBS modeling is going to recognize the workflow the way I work, which is I build an accurate line model of my design. In other words, I'm indicating to myself where I will build my surfaces. And this allows me to get the proportions tuned up. And it also shows me how I'm going to build surfaces, how I'm going to build surface transitions, maintain continuity. I think on a piece of eyewear like this, sure, you can do matte finish surfaces to hide imperfections, but the idea is that if these are produced in a reflective or glossy finish, the surfaces should have some continuity and have some nice highlights and reflections on them. So, as with any 3D process, you can see there's just some setup happening here. And I had some ideas. I was going to draw directly on the head model. I thought maybe that would be a way to go. But what I found here was that I didn't have the control over line thickness, which is maybe something for Gravity Sketch to think about in their next iterations. So I've just drawn a curve on surface, but I don't have control of the line weight. So curves on surface are static. In other words, they can't go thick to thin, which is a really nice feature in Gravity Sketch. The thick to thin lines, what it does is it makes this part of the process, which can be tedious. It's very time consuming to build a pretty complete line drawing model of your object. But the thick to thin lines make that line drawing, that three-dimensional line drawing, much more dynamic. You can have thicker outlines or more dramatic thick to thin outlines on the more design critical surfaces or design critical elements. And you can see this is the piece that I'm kind of excited to build first, this kind of wing shape. There you go, like an eyebrow. And so I just jump right in and sketch it out. There you go. And so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to speed the video up a little bit because what you're going to see is this process repeated 1,000 times. I'll rough in the form and then I jump in on the line and the control points. I start tuning the line to the proportions. I start tuning the line to the sketch, and I'll tune the thick to thin, as you can see here. So maybe I'll find some cool music for virtual reality model making, something techno. And for those of you who haven't tried virtual reality yet, I mean, it's kind of like, it's hard to describe. You just have to do it. The sense of presence when you're wearing a headset is incredibly strong. It's always a shock to work on a model like this for an hour, for 2 hours, for longer, and then to come out from under the headset, it's a bit of a shock to find yourself in your living room or in some sort of normal environment. but it's definitely something for designers. I really do believe this is a wave of future technology that's crashing over us. Whether we're aware of it or not, this stuff is going to be everywhere. It's going to be ubiquitous, also for consumers, but for creatives, this tool is incredibly powerful. Yeah, and I'm excited about it. Everybody's excited about it. We can even ask my friend here. Hey Alexa, what's virtual reality?
Virtual reality, which can be referred to as immersive multimedia or computer simulated life, replicates an environment that simulates physical presence in places in the real world or imagined worlds and lets the user interact in that world.
Alexa, don't you think that answer was a bit overdone?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's right, you don't. So yeah, the technology is not totally there, but it is a ton of fun if you're creative. And so I have an automotive and a product design background, and sketching. I mean, you can see the ballpoint pen sketches in the background, those are mine. I love working that way. It's portable, it's cheap. You can, any meeting, any place you are, there's almost always a ballpoint pen or a pencil and some paper or something to draw on. And so that is really adding value to be able to do that. And I do believe that's a critical basic skill for a designer, is to be able to communicate with a pen and a piece of paper. But a tool like this is a really powerful addition to your toolbox. The process is incredibly fast. It's incredibly lightweight. I learned the software by putting the headset on, booting up the software. I clicked on the help button, and it's not just a link to a website or a link to some PDF document. It opens up a TV screen inside the software. So you're standing in your virtual studio, and you have a video screen that's showing you how to use the tools, and you can use them and watch on this screen in your virtual space, a virtual screen. So kind of Star Trek-y, but for the creatives, again, absolutely something worth trying. I guarantee you're gonna like it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and find some music to play over this. I'll speed this up a little bit because it's the same thing over and over and over. I'm just building this 3D line drawing to get ready to prep myself for stretching some surfaces over these curves. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee or whatever, tea, whatever you're drinking, and I'll find some reasonably mellow techno music to play over this form finding, this 3D line drawing, and then I'll check in before the end of the video. Alexa, what is motion sickness?
Motion sickness means the state of being dizzy or nauseated because of emotions that occur while traveling or on a moving vehicle.
Yeah, moving vehicle, sure, but high-speed 3D videos taken from a point of view perspective would also fit into that category. So I guess Alexa's not as smart as we think. Anyway, that was the first step here. You can see I've come reasonably far, and you can see the tightness and the tension in the lines. That took some work, as you can see, and I'm not done yet. So the next video will continue on just pushing out details, getting the earpieces, and I also want to fix the way this is sitting on the head. I feel like it's not perfectly positioned. It's got the whole form needs to be pushed a little bit, rotated down in the back, which is also another thing for Gravity Sketch, maybe. The ability to place a center point for an object or a line, or the ability to place a center point for a group of lines would be really helpful. And I think there's some sort of feature like that. It depends on where you hold your hand in relation to the object. I believe that does actually give you a pivot point. So I would like to pivot these glasses down from about the bridge of the nose and rotate the arms of the glasses down. So I guess you can kind of do it, but it would be nice to have an actual visual center point that you could place to do that. Anyway, so you can see I've got some basic forms down. I'm detailing some of it out, and I'm just excited to be doing the line drawing. So that's where I kind of started to lose a little bit of the overall proportion, but I'll get into that in the next video, which is going to start here in about a minute. So hope you enjoyed the first part of this video, and if you're interested or you like the video or the software, feel free to leave a comment or just click on the next link and watch the next video. Thanks for watching.